Have you ever said something like, "She don't like coffee," and then you pause for a second and think, wait, is that right? Or maybe you wanted to ask a very simple question like, "Do he work here?" And suddenly you feel a little unsure. If that sounds like you, don't worry, because today, in just a few minutes, you're going to finally understand do, does, and did in a way that actually feels easy. A lot of English learners feel confused about do, does, and did. Not because they are difficult, but because they are often explained in a very complicated way. You see long grammar rules, you see charts, you try to remember everything, and then when you actually speak, your mind just goes blank. So today we're going to do something different. No heavy grammar rules. No difficult words. No stress. Just simple ideas, real-life examples, and a new way to feel what is right. Because that's the goal here. Not just to understand, but to feel confident when you speak. By the end of this video, you won't just remember what to say. You'll start to feel what sounds right, almost automatically. Let's start with the word do. Now, don't think about grammar first. Just think about real life. We use do when we talk about things that are true now in the present, especially when we talk about ourselves, or the person we are speaking to, or a group of people. So think about these words. I, you, we, they. Let's take a very simple sentence. I work every day. This is just a normal sentence. You're talking about your life. Now imagine you want to turn this into a question. Instead of saying the sentence, you want to ask someone. So you say, do you work every day? Listen to that again. Do you work every day? It feels very natural, right? Now let's slow down for a second and really feel what's happening here. We are talking to someone directly. We are using the word you. And because of that, we use do. Let's try a few more examples, but this time, imagine real situations. Imagine you are at a coffee shop. You meet someone new. You smile and you want to start a conversation. So you ask, do you live here? Do you like coffee? Do you come here often? These are simple, friendly questions. And they all use do. Now imagine you are talking about yourself. Maybe someone asks you about your daily life. You might say, I work in an office. I play sports on the weekend. I watch movies at night. And if someone wants to ask you about these things, they will use do. Do you work in an office? Do you play sports? Do you watch movies? So, here's the feeling I want you to remember. When you hear or think about I, you, we, or they, your brain should naturally connect that with the word do. You don't need to stop and think about grammar rules. Just feel it. It's like your brain creates a small connection. I, you, we, they, and then do. Let's take one more simple situation. You're talking about your friends. They live near here. They play soccer every week. Now, if you want to ask about them, you say, do they live near here? Do they play soccer every week? Again, same pattern, same feeling. So before we move on, let's make this very clear in your mind. When the subject is I, you, we, or they, and you are asking a question in the present, you use do. That's it. No need to make it more complicated than that. Now, let's move to does. This is where many learners start to feel confused. But I promise you, it's actually very simple. The only thing you need to change in your thinking is this. Instead of talking about yourself, or the person you are speaking to, or a group, now you are talking about just one person, and not you, someone else. So think about these words. He, she, it. Let's go back to our simple example. She works every day. This is just a normal sentence. Now, if you want to ask a question, you don't say, does she work every day? That sounds a little off. Instead, you say, does she work every day? Listen to the difference. Does she work every day? Now, let's slow it down. We are talking about one person,
she.
Because of that, we use does. Not do, but does. This is the key change. Now, let's bring this into real life again. Imagine you are talking to a friend about another person. Maybe you are asking about your friend's sister. You might say, does she live near here? Does she like coffee? Does she work on weekends? Now, imagine you are talking about a male friend. Does he play sports? Does he watch movies? Does he drive to work? And sometimes we even use it for things, not people. For example, does it work? Does it open at night? Does it make noise? So again, let's focus on the feeling. When you're talking about just one person or one thing, and it is not you, your brain should connect that with does. Let's compare it with what you learned before. If you say, do you like coffee? That's correct. But if you say, does she like coffee? That doesn't sound right. Instead, you say, does she like coffee? So the change is very simple. You move from do to does because now it's just one person. Let's repeat that idea one more time, slowly. When it is I, you, we, or they, you use do. When it is he, she, or you use does. That's the only difference you need to remember right now. And again, don't try to memorize it like a rule.
Try to feel it.
You hear she, your brain says does. You hear he, your brain says does. You hear it, your brain says does. Now here's the best part. Out of all three words, did is actually the easiest one. And the reason is very simple. Because did is used for the past, and it works the same way for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're talking about I, you, he, she, we, or they. Nothing changes. Everything stays the same. Let's look at a few simple examples. Did you eat? Did she call you? Did they finish the work? Listen to those sentences again. You don't need to change anything based on the person. You don't need to think about he or she or they. You just used did. That's it. Now, let's connect this to real life so you can really feel it. Imagine it's today and you're talking to your friend about yesterday. You might ask, did you watch the game? Did you go out? Did you see that movie? All of these questions are about the past. Something already finished. Something already happened. And because of that, we use did. Let's try another situation. You're talking about your coworker. Did she finish the report? Did he call the client? Again, no change. No extra thinking. Just did. Now here is the simple feeling I want you to remember. When your mind is thinking about the past, something that already happened, your brain should naturally go to the word did. It doesn't matter who you are talking about. Past time always connects to did. Now, let's put everything together in the simplest way possible. Take a moment and just relax. You already understand more than you think. Let's look at the present first. When you are talking about now, about your daily life, about things that are true today, if the subject is I, you, we, or they, you use do. If the subject is he, she, or it, you use does. That's it for the present. Now, let's look at the past. When you are talking about something that already happened, something finished, something from yesterday or last week, you use did. And the best part is you use it for everyone. No changes. No special cases. So if we say it in a very simple way, it sounds like this. For present time, you use do or does. depending on the subject. For past time, you use did for all subjects. That's the whole system. There are no complicated rules hiding behind this. You don't need to memorize a long list. You just need to remember two ideas. Present time connects with do and does. Past time connects with did. Once you feel that difference, everything becomes much easier. Now, let's fix some very common mistakes that many learners make. These are the kinds of mistakes that you probably hear, or maybe you've said them yourself before. And that's completely okay. Because once you see them clearly, they become very easy to fix. Let's look at the first one. Some learners say, she don't like it. Now, you can probably feel that something is a little off. The correct sentence is, she doesn't like it.
Why?
Because we are talking about one person.
She.
So we don't use do. We use does. And when we make it negative, it becomes does not, or the short form, doesn't. Now, let's look at another common mistake. Do he work here? Again, this might sound a little strange once you hear it slowly. The correct version is, does he work here? Same reason. One person.
He.
So we use does, not do. Now here's a very important one, especially with the past. Some learners say, did she went there? This is very common, but the correct sentence is, did she go there? Now you might ask why. Here's the simple trick. After the word did, you always use the base form of the verb, not the past form. So instead of went, you go back to go. Instead of ate, you say eat. So you say, did you eat? Did she go? Did they see it? This is a very small change, but it makes a big difference. So remember this feeling. When you use did, the verb goes back to its simple, base form. So today, you didn't just learn grammar. You learned a feeling. When you hear I, you, we, or they in the present, your mind goes to do. When you hear he, she, or it in the present, your mind goes to does. And when you think about the past, no matter who it is, your mind goes to did. That's all you need. Nothing more. And next time when you speak, don't try to remember rules. Don't stop and think too much. Just trust the feeling. If this helped you understand English a little more clearly, keep learning with us, and little by little, English will start to feel natural.